Insights from the Transcript. Introduction. Do you ever forget a new English word right after you learn it? This happens to many people when they try to learn a new language. We try hard to remember words, but sometimes they don't stay in our minds. This book, Insights from the Transcript, is made to help with this problem. It looks at a real talk, a transcript. This talk has helpful ideas and good ways to make new words easy to remember. In this talk, we find simple tips and learn how to go from just hearing words to truly knowing them for a long time. Our main goal in Insights from the Transcript is to understand all the good ideas in this special talk. We will learn the basic rules for learning well, as shown in this honest conversation. The talk we studied is a real discussion. It has many useful tips and real experiences about learning English. It shows us how someone dealt with these problems and found good answers. As we read the words, some main ideas kept coming up. These are what we call the main ideas of the talk. They are the strong ideas that hold the whole talk together. They guide what the speaker says and what the listener learns. Knowing and understanding these main ideas is very important. They are the best advice from the talk. They are the main rules that, when you understand them, can help you learn much better and for longer. As we look at this talk, 3 important main ideas stand out. They give great help to anyone who wants to learn more English words. The first, and maybe the most important, is how much writing things down helps. The talk says that just hearing a word is not enough. We need to do something with it. A special notebook for words is a key tool for this. It's not just writing words. It's a thoughtful way of writing them down so they stay in our memory. More than just writing, the talk shows another important main idea: how to remember for a long time. How do we make sure the effort we put in today helps us remember tomorrow, next week, and next year? This idea looks at ways to make new words stick in our minds. It helps us go from just remembering for a little while to knowing them for good. Also, the talk shows the main idea that real learning is more than just remembering what words mean. It's about understanding where and how a word is used. The talk gives practical ways to understand words better. By looking at these main ideas, we want to give you a strong plan for learning English. You will learn not just what to do, but why these ways work. This will help you learn better and remember more. In the next chapters, we will look closely at each of these main ideas. We will study the special tips and ideas from the talk. We will give you useful advice and examples. Our journey will help you understand the basic rules for learning words well. Then, you will learn how to use these tips right away. You will see your own learning better. You will find new ways to learn faster. Get ready to learn English in a better and more helpful way. Let's start exploring the strong main ideas that are at the heart of this talk. 1. Learning new words. Learning a new word can seem small. We see a word, look it up, and move on. But to truly learn a word, to use it easily, we must do more than just see its meaning. This is where a key theme helps us. It reminds us that looking closely at main ideas, like how we learn new words, helps us understand better. How we learn new words shows how trying hard can lead to knowledge that stays with us. This is a main idea in understanding how we learn things. Think about the last new word you met. Maybe in a book, talking, or online. The easy thing is to find its meaning and forget it. But if we want the word to stay, to be a tool we can use, we need to work with it more. This is where writing things down helps. Just seeing or hearing a word is like a quick shadow. But when you write the word down, really write it down, something changes. It's not just having a record. It's the act of writing that tells your brain, this is important. Pay attention. See the difference between looking up a word on your phone and closing the app versus opening a special notebook for new words. When you write a word down, you're not just copying letters. You are choosing it, noticing it, and giving it a place. This act of writing makes a stronger mark in your mind. It makes you slow down, focus on the word, how it looks, how it sounds, and how it appears on the page. This careful action helps move the word from being easily forgotten to being remembered. It's a small step, but it's strong for building understanding. This is a key theme in learning. The more we actively work with information, the better we understand it. But writing the word is just the start. The next important step is to know its surroundings, its context. Knowing ephemeral means lasting a short time is good. But if you only know the meaning, you might not use it. When does something become ephemeral? What things are ephemeral? This is where context is very important. Learning a word well means knowing how it's used in a sentence. When you see or make a sample sentence, you see the word working. You know its role, what words go with it, and the feeling it gives. For example, knowing ephemeral beauty means something lovely that doesn't last, like a sunset or a flower, gives the word much more life than just its dictionary meaning. This is why making a sample sentence for a new word is so helpful. It's not just a school task. It's a real way to make sure you understand. When you make your own sentence, you must think about the word's meaning in a real situation. You must decide if it fits, if it sounds right, and if it says what you want. This process helps you remember the word for a long time because you are not just getting information. You are building a link between the word and how it's used. It's like learning to ride a bike. You can read about balancing, but until you try, the knowledge is just in your head. Making a sentence is your first ride with that new word, making it more likely to stay in your word list. This active work is a main part of the key theme. Looking closely at things leads to better understanding. To make this process even better, we can use pictures. Our brains remember pictures much better than ideas. So, when you meet a new word, try to link it to a picture. You don't have to be an artist. A simple drawing can work well. For example, if you learn gregarious, meaning liking to be with others, you might draw stick figures laughing. If you learn melancholy, you might draw a sad cloud. Even if you can't draw, just imagining a strong picture for the word can help your memory. This picture link is like a shortcut for your memory, making it easier to remember the word and its meaning. Later, it adds another layer of working with the word, making learning more lively and less like just reading facts. This brings us to the vocabulary notebook as a very useful tool. Think of it as your own word treasure box. It's a special place to collect, explore, and look at the words you're learning. When you have a system, a place for all your new words, they won't get lost. You can go back to your notebook often, look at the words you wrote, reread your sentences, and add new ideas. This organized way gives you a place to check, making your learning stronger and helping the words sink in. It's not just filling pages, it's making a living record of your word growth. This organized way of learning is a main part of the key theme. Looking closely at things in an organized way gives good results. The main goal of all these ways, writing, context, and pictures, is knowledge that lasts. We don't want to learn a word for today and forget it tomorrow. We want it to be a permanent part of our language, our thoughts, and how we speak. This is about going beyond just memorizing to truly understanding and remembering easily. When a word is truly yours, it comes out naturally when you write or speak. You don't have to stop and search for it. It's there ready. This is the difference between knowing a fact and truly understanding it. The ideas used here for learning words are basic for learning anything new. The more we actively work with things, put them in context, and picture them, the more likely they are to become lasting knowledge. Let's look at an example. Imagine reading a story and seeing the word ubiquitous. You've never seen it. The easy way is to look it up, found everywhere. But that meaning alone might not make it stick. Instead, you use your word notebook. You write ubiquitous. Then, you think about where you see things everywhere. You might picture phones or the color blue on a sunny day. You write a sample sentence. In the city, the sound of traffic was ubiquitous. Now, when you hear or read ubiquitous, your mind can connect to the idea of something being everywhere, like the traffic noise in a busy city. This active, many senses way is much better than just reading a meaning. The question of how writing down a new word helps memory more than just looking it up online is important. Looking it up online is often easy. You see the meaning, maybe how to say it, and then you leave. The information is processed very quickly. Writing it down, however, is an active, many-step process. It uses your hands, your eyes to see the written word, and a decision to record it. This work uses different parts of your brain and makes stronger connections. It's like watching a chef cook and cooking it yourself. You learn much more by doing. The physical act of writing, plus the mental work of choosing and recording, makes the information processed more deeply, helping memory. This is a key theme. Active, close looking at information leads to deeper and lasting understanding. Also, the specific good things about making a sample sentence for a new word and how it helps long-term memory are great. A meaning tells you what a word means. A sample sentence shows you how it works. It puts the word in its natural place, showing its grammar, what words often go with it, and the small differences in its meaning in context. When you make your own sentence, you are actively trying out the word, testing its limits, and making sure you understand how to use it right. This real use changes a word from just information into a tool for talking. It's the difference between knowing the rules of a game and playing it. Using the word in a sentence, even one you made up, makes it much more likely to be remembered and used correctly later. This real use is a vital part of the key theme. Close looking means understanding not just the idea, but how to use it and what it means in practice. By actively working with new words through careful writing and context, we change quick meetings into knowledge that lasts. This idea goes beyond just learning words. It works for every new piece of information we find, every skill we want to learn. The careful act of working with something new, breaking it down, looking at its parts, and seeing its place in the whole, is the surest way to learn well and for a long time. This is how we build our understanding of the world. One word learned carefully, one idea understood deeply at a time. This steady focus on active work and close looking is the heart of the key theme in this discussion. 2. Remembering vocabulary. Learning new words can be hard. They can seem to disappear as quickly as they appear. But there is a good way to make words stick in your mind. It is not magic, but smart learning. The best way to remember words is to write them down. It is easy to see a word and think you know it. But real learning happens when you write the word. This is not just copying. When you write, your brain pays more attention. It tells your brain, this word is important. Writing is the first step to making a word a friend. But just writing the word is not enough. The best way to remember is to know what the word means and to use it in a sentence. A definition tells you what a word means, but a sentence shows you how to use it. It shows you the word's job. When you make your own sentence, you show you understand the word. You think about how the word works with other words. This makes the word more useful and easier to remember. It is like knowing the name of a tool versus knowing how to use it. Using words in sentences helps you remember them for a long time. This is a main idea. Using words helps you learn them better. Pictures can also help you remember words. Many people remember pictures better than words. If you learn the word apple, seeing a picture of a red apple helps. The picture and the word connect in your brain. This works well for things you can see, like chair or tree. For ideas that are not things, like worry, you can imagine a tight feeling in your stomach. This might seem fun, but pictures can help your brain remember. They use a different part of your brain than just words. Pictures are a good help, especially when you learn them with other methods. This shows that different ways of learning work for different people. The main goal is to remember words for a long time, not just for a test. The ways we talked about, writing, making sentences, and using pictures, all help you remember words for good. They are not quick fixes, but good habits. They help you build a strong collection of words. When you see these words again, they will feel familiar. You will remember them like old friends. This steady practice makes your words useful. It is like building a library of words, not just a short list. This is a main idea. Good learning methods help you remember for a long time. A very useful tool for all these methods is a word book. This is a special book for your words. You write new words in it. You write your sentences in it. You can even draw pictures in it. This book is your own learning space. You can see how much you have learned. You can go back to words you found hard. Having this book makes learning neat and planned. It shows you are serious about learning. Your word book is a record of your learning journey. Each word has a story, a meaning, and a place in your thoughts. This word book helps with all the main ideas of learning well and remembering. Let's think about the first question. How does writing a word help you remember it better than just seeing or hearing it? When you just see or hear a word, your brain might notice it for a moment, like a car driving by. It is there, but it does not stay long. But when you write a word, many parts of your brain work. Your eyes see it, your hand moves to make the letters, and your brain must remember how to spell it. This uses many senses and makes a stronger path in your brain. It is like drawing a line in the sand versus just walking over it. The line you draw stays longer. Also, writing needs focus. You choose to write the word, so you give it more attention. This attention helps move information from short memory to long memory. The writing itself makes the word more important and easier to remember. Now, let's think about the second question. What is good about making a sentence with a new word, and how? Is this different from just learning its meaning? Learning a meaning is like knowing the names of food. Making a sentence is like cooking the food. It makes you learn how to use the word. Meanings can sometimes be hard to understand. But when you put the word in a sentence that makes sense to you, you check if you understand it. You think about what kind of word it is, a thing, an action, a description. You think about its meaning and what other words go with it. For example, knowing what kind means is one thing, but saying, "The kind person helped the lost dog," shows you know how to use the word. This helps you avoid knowing a word but not being able to use it. The main idea is that how a word is used is very important. When you make sentences, you create your own use for the word. This makes the word more useful and easier to remember later. This active use makes the word part of your useful words, not just words you know. Finally, let's think about the third question. How can pictures be better than other ways to remember words, and what are the problems with using only pictures? Pictures are strong because our brains are very good at seeing. A picture can show a lot quickly and can make you feel something that words alone might not. For things you can see, like dog or house, a picture is a clear example. This picture helps you remember the word. It is like having a photo in your mind for the word. This is very good for new learners. Pictures can also make words more memorable because they can have feelings or senses with them. A picture of good food can make the word tasty easier to remember than just its meaning. But there are problems. Not all words can be easily shown in a picture. Ideas like fairness or freedom are hard to show with one picture. You can use symbols, but people might not understand them the same way. Also, if you only use pictures, you might not learn how to use words in reading or writing. Pictures are a good part of learning words, but they work best when used with other methods, like writing and using words in sentences. This helps you understand and remember words in many ways. By actively using new words through writing, making sentences, and looking at pictures, you can turn quick meetings with words into knowledge that stays. This careful way of learning, like using a word book, not only helps you remember, but also makes you feel sure about using English. The next step is to see how these learned words are used to become truly good at the language. 3. Using a vocabulary notebook. Learning a new English word is more than just seeing or hearing it. It is about making a word stay in your mind for a long time. A good way to do this is with a notebook for words. This notebook is not just for writing down words you don't know. It is a special place where you can look at words closely, understand them, and make them yours. This notebook helps turn words you meet for a short time into words you use all the time. Why is a special notebook better than just marking words in a book? Think about when you read. You might see a word, underline it, or think, "I'll remember that." But do you really use those words later? Often, they are just alone and forgotten. A special notebook shows you care about learning the word. You decide to pay close attention to it. When you write a word from a page into your notebook, it shows that the word is important. It is like taking something valuable from a busy store and putting it in your safe home. This separate place helps you learn. New words do not get lost with all the other things you see and hear every day. You are choosing to learn, not just looking. Your notebook is a safe place for words, where each word is treated with care. This helps you connect with the word better than just a quick mark. Writing down a word is just the first, easy step. To really learn a word and make it stick, you need to do more. What should you write in your notebook to learn words best? First, write the word itself. Then, write its meaning. This is not just looking up a hard definition. It is understanding the word in a way that makes sense to you. Sometimes, a simple explanation is best. For example, if you see the word kind, a dictionary might say nice. But you could add, like your grandma who gives you hugs. This makes the meaning easier to remember. After the meaning, the most important part is how to use the word. You need to see how a word works in a sentence. So, writing example sentences is very important. These sentences are like small stories for the word. They show you its meaning and how it is used in a sentence. They show if it is a noun, a thing, a verb, an action, or an adjective, a describing word. For example, if you learn everywhere, instead of just writing in all places, write a sentence like, you can find pizza everywhere. This shows that everywhere means in many places. Also, pictures can help you learn words. For some words, a definition and a sentence might not be enough. Imagine learning peaceful. The meaning calm is clear, but a small drawing of a quiet lake or someone resting can help you understand it better. This picture helps your memory in a different way. For ideas like feeling for others, a drawing of two people helping each other can be very helpful. These pictures make your notebook more interesting and help you remember words better. Now, think about this. How does making your own sentence with a new word help you remember it better than just reading sentences? When you read a sentence someone else wrote, you are just looking. Your brain thinks about the word in that sentence. But when you make your own sentence, you are thinking hard. You have to know the meaning and how to use it to say what you want to say. This makes your brain work more and helps you remember the word. For example, the word short. If you read, "The movie was short," you understand it. But if you have to make your own sentence, you might think about things that don't last long. Maybe a happy feeling or a flower that wilts. You might write, "My happiness was short when the ice cream melted." This means you have to use the word in a new way that is personal to you. This helps you remember the word for a long time. You are not just memorizing a meaning, you are using the word in your own thoughts. You are teaching yourself how to use it by putting it to work. This is much better than just reading. So, your word notebook is more than just a list. It is a tool for learning. By having a special place, writing down meanings, and making your own sentences, and even using pictures, you learn words well and remember them. Each entry helps you know English better. This way of learning helps you remember words and feel sure when you use them. The next step is to learn how to use these words in your everyday talking. 4. Enhancing memory with pictures and sentences. Learning a new language or trying to recall difficult ideas can feel like trying to hold smoke. You see it, you reach for it, but it disappears. The text we've looked at talks about this common problem. How do we make information stay with us? It's not just about reading words. It's about making those words and their meanings become a real part of us. This is where the main idea of understanding and remembering comes in. The main idea is a close look at the important thoughts and concepts from the text summary. In this part, we will explore a good way to learn new information, especially new words. This way helps us go beyond just memorizing to truly understanding and remembering for a long time. We will learn about using pictures and sentences. Think about this. When you see a new word, like ephemeral, and you just write it down with its meaning, lasting for a very short time, what happens? Your brain gets the information, but it's like a single string. It's easy to break, easy to lose among other strings. This is a common mistake when learning without really engaging. We read, we write, we might read again, but the connection is often weak. The text summary shows we need to engage more deeply. This section will explain how we can create stronger, more lasting memory links. The main goal is to show how using pictures and example sentences in a word notebook greatly helps remember new English words for a long time. It's about making learning stick, turning those wisps of smoke into solid things in our minds. Our first point is that just writing a new word and its meaning is not enough for long-term memory. Our brains need more connections. Imagine trying to remember one single fact. It's hard. Now imagine that fact is linked to a bright picture, something you experienced, or a story. Which is easier to remember? Usually, the second one. Our brains are built for connections. When we learn something new, we don't store it alone. We link it to what we already know, to our senses, to our feelings. A single word, with no context or sensory input, has little to hold on to. It's like a boat without an anchor in a rough sea. It can be easily pushed around and lost. The text summary, by looking at how information is processed, supports this by showing the need for strong understanding, not just memorizing. This main idea of deep understanding is what we are building here. This leads us to the power of pictures. Pictures create a strong, quick link to a word's meaning. They help you understand without having to translate the definition in your head each time. Think of the word dog. If you see a picture of a dog, you know what it means right away. You don't need to think, okay, dog means a pet animal that barks. The picture does the work. It's a direct path to understanding. This visual shortcut is very effective because our brains process images much faster and better than words. When you connect a new word with a picture, you give your brain a strong visual clue. This clue is like a signpost, pointing straight to the word's meaning. It's a more natural and faster way to remember than trying to recall a definition from memory. Let's look at an example. Suppose you are learning the word jubilant. If you just write jubilant, feeling or showing great happiness, you might remember it for a day or two. But if you draw a simple person jumping in the air with confetti, or find a picture of a team celebrating a win, that image becomes a strong anchor. The next time you see or hear jubilant, your mind will probably show you that image of happy celebration. This picture connection makes the word not just something you know, but something you can feel and see in your mind. This is an important part of the main idea of detailed examination. We are not just giving information, we are showing how it can be deeply understood and remembered. The text summaries focus on main themes is like our focus on the main meaning of a word, made clear through images. Now, let's consider the second main point. Context is very important. Sentences show you how a word is used in real life. This helps you understand its small differences and makes it easier to remember and use the word yourself. It's like seeing a tool being used, not just its parts. A word doesn't exist alone. It lives in sentences, in talks, in stories. Learning a word without its context is like learning the name of a musical instrument without ever hearing it played. You know its name, but you don't know its sound, its purpose, or how it fits into the music. When you see a word in a sentence, you learn what words usually go with it, its grammar role, is it a verb, a noun, an adjective, and its subtle meanings. For example, take the word diligent. Its meaning might be showing care and effort in your work or duties. But seeing it in a sentence like, Maria was diligent in her studies, spending hours in the library each week, gives you a much better understanding. You see that diligent is often linked to hard work, study, and being dedicated. You understand it's an adjective describing a person. This learning from context makes the word more useful and memorable. It changes the word from an idea into a tool you can actually use. The text summaries focus on main themes suggests that understanding how small parts make a bigger whole is vital. In the same way, understanding how a word works in a sentence helps the main idea of good communication. This is a direct use of the main idea, looking at how individual parts words help a central idea meaning and use. This brings us to our third point. The combination of a picture and a sentence creates a powerful 1-2 punch. For memory, the picture gives you the main meaning and the sentence shows you how to use it, making the learning stronger. From different sides. When you combine a visual anchor with a context example, you create a learning experience that uses many senses. The picture gives you a quick, natural understanding of the word's core idea, while the sentence gives you the practical use and deeper understanding of how it's used. This two-part approach works for different ways of learning and makes the memory stronger by using different parts of the brain. It's like having two different keys to open the same door. If one doesn't work, the other probably will. Let's go back to ephemeral. A picture might be a delicate butterfly or a wilting flower. This gives you the main idea of short-lived beauty. Then a sentence like, the joy of the sunset was ephemeral, quickly fading into darkness, gives you the context. You see how ephemeral describes not just things, but also experiences and feelings. The picture makes the idea easy to grasp, and the sentence makes it usable. This working together of visual and context learning is very strong. It's much better than using only one method. The text summaries look at main themes suggests that a method with many parts often gives the best insights. Here, we see that a method with many parts for learning words gives the best remembering. This fits perfectly with the main ideas call for a detailed look that includes many parts of understanding. To answer the first question, why are pictures and sentences better for long-term memory than just writing the word and its meaning? The answer is in how our brains are built. Our brains are not like computers that just store information. They are complex networks that create links and connections. When you get new information, your brain tries to connect it to what you already know, your experiences, and your senses. A definition alone is mostly just abstract word information. While it's a necessary first step, it doesn't use many of the brain's powerful memory-building tools. Pictures, on the other hand, use our visual centers, which are very well developed. Images are understood as a whole and can create immediate feelings and connections. This makes them very memorable. Think about how easily you remember faces or scenes from your childhood. This is largely because of the strong visual part. When you add a picture to a word, you give your brain a rich, multi-part piece of information to hold onto. Sentences add another level of detail and usefulness. They help us understand grammar, how words are put together, and how language is actually used in talking. By seeing a word in action, we learn its role and its connection to other words. This context helps our brains build a stronger network of connections around the word. It's not just a definition, it's a word that fits in a specific place that plays a certain role in sharing meaning. This process of making connections and understanding function is what leads to deeper, more lasting memories. It's about creating a web of understanding, not just one piece of data. This is the heart of the main idea, moving from a simple mention of a concept to a detailed look at how it works and what its effect is. Our fourth point is about actively trying to remember. This method encourages active recall. When you look at the picture or sentence, you are forced to think about the word, instead of just reading it again without thinking. This active involvement is key to making memories strong. Just reading notes again is much less effective than actively trying to recall. Active recall means getting information from your memory. When you look at a picture and try to remember the word that goes with it, or when you look at a sentence with a missing word and try to recall it, you are actively using your memory retrieval processes. This act of retrieving itself makes the memory stronger. It's like exercising a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Imagine you have a word notebook. On one side, you have a picture. On the other side, you have the word and a sentence. When you study, you look at the picture and try to remember the word and its meaning. Or you look at the sentence with a blank space where the word should be and try to recall it. This is active recall. It makes your brain work to search for the information. This effort is what makes the memory stick. It's a much better way to learn than just reading the definition over and over. The text summary, by focusing on the main themes, naturally supports active involvement with ideas. This section directly turns that idea into a practical learning method, showing the main idea in use. Now, to answer the second question, how can someone practically use pictures and sentences in their word notebook, even if they are not good at drawing? This is a common worry, but the good thing about this method is that it's flexible. You don't need to be a great artist to get benefits. First, for pictures, simple drawings, stick figures, basic shapes, and simple symbols are perfectly fine. The goal is to create a visual clue, not a perfect picture. A simple drawing of a house for domicile or a smiley face for happy is often enough. Cutouts and printouts. If drawing is not something you like, cut out pictures from magazines or print them from the internet. This is a fast and good way to get strong visual connections. Symbols and icons. Use symbols that most people understand. For example, a clock for time, a light bulb for idea, or a question mark for query. Color coding. Use colors to represent ideas that are not physical. For example, red for anger, blue for sadness, green for growth. Second, for sentences. Create your own. This is the most effective method. Write sentences that are personal to you, that relate to your own experiences or interests. This makes the word even more memorable. For example, if learning. Conclusion. We have come to the end of our learning. It's time to think about what we've done. You spent time and effort to learn how to build your English words. This is the first step to becoming very good at it. We went on a learning trip together. We found the main ideas in the text and learned simple ways to get better at English words. The most important ideas we talked about are the main points that help you learn English words well. We looked at how learning by doing helps, how our brains remember things, and how to use tools to learn more words. Let's look again at the most helpful main ideas. These are the strong bases for learning words well. One very important idea is writing things down actively. The text showed us that just seeing a new word is not enough. We need to use it. The speaker said it's important to write down new words, what they mean, and how to use them in sentences. This is not just extra work. It's a smart way to understand better. This active way helps a word move from just being seen to being truly understood. It's about making the word yours. Another main idea is remembering for a long time. We don't want to learn words for just a short time. We want them to stay in our English words forever. The text said the main goal is to remember for a long time. The ways we talked about, like writing, making sentences, and using pictures, all help us not forget. This idea shows that learning well means keeping knowledge for a long time, not just for a short while. We also talked about using pictures and memory helpers. The idea to use pictures is a strong reminder that our brains often learn and remember best when we see things in different ways. The text said pictures can help us remember much better. Pictures can make words that are hard to imagine feel more real and easier to recall. This idea tells us to be creative when we learn, using our senses and different parts of our brain to remember better. These main ideas are all connected. Writing things down helps us remember for a long time. Pictures also help us remember. As we finish, let's remember the main idea that guided us, making your English learning strong. The text gave us useful ideas. By understanding and using these main ideas, you are taking control of how you learn. This is not about just listening. It's about building your skills with smart ways that work. The most useful tool we talked about, and a direct way to use these main ideas, is your vocabulary notebook. Think of it as your own learning place. It's where you actively use words, make sure you remember them for a long time, and make them truly yours. So what do you do now? Make a promise to write down new words. Don't just look at them. Write down what they mean and, most importantly, make your own sentences. This is the heart of the active note-taking main idea. When you look at your notebook, focus on understanding and using the words. Think about how you can use them when you talk or write every day. This helps with the long-term retention main idea. Don't be afraid to draw pictures or use other visual things that help you remember. Use the power of visualization and memory aids. The real progress happens with regular practice. Make using your vocabulary notebook a daily habit, even for a few minutes. Learning English is a journey that never ends. But with the ways and main ideas we've learned, you are now better ready than ever to go on this journey well. Remember, every word you learn is a step closer to what you want. Keep learning, keep practicing, and keep making your English strong. Thank you for joining us on this trip to understand the text's ideas. We hope this book has given you useful tools and made you feel more sure of yourself on your English learning journey. May your words keep growing and your speaking become smooth. Happy learning!